Better up.
Rob and Chris, they're on the air. Yankees, Mets, they're everywhere. From the Bronx to Queens, the diamond gleams. MLB talk, the ultimate team. MLB is the place to be. Rob and Chris with the pitch you'll see. Swinging stats and stories fly. Baseball talk that's amplified.
And welcome to a new episode of NYMLB Talk with your hosts, Rob and Chris, as we cover the Mets, Yankees, and all of Major League Baseball. And if you're on YouTube, hit that sub button. We'd appreciate it. And if you want, you can follow us on Twitter/X and on TikTok at NYMLB Talk, Rob at R. Marasco, and myself at CP7NY. So, Rob, we got our awesome guest back again. Let's introduce him.
Yeah, we love him. Anthony Savino is back to talk about Mets, Yankees, Major League Baseball.
You know, you cut it to my 90210 marathon for this, so I better be able to.
His audio's breaking up, but we heard that. Yeah, thanks for coming on, Ant. Sorry, we don't want to interrupt the 90210 marathon, but how's everything been going with you?
I know Dylan's losing his $8 million today. I want to, come on.
Priorities.
So how's everything going since we last talked to you? We had that awesome World Series. What did you think about the World Series this year?
I was a lot closer than I thought it was. I'll tell you the truth. I can't believe Toronto blew it in the end like that. I mean, but it was game 6, I guess. But to be honest with you, when the Mets are not in it, I can't, by watching the World Series, it gets more aggravated that my team is not there,
Yeah, we know the feeling. But it was a good World Series, and and it broke records for Chris. But what did Chris think about the World Series?
It was a great World Series without a doubt. It was it was awesome. Every game was close. So many plays that could have went either way. But yeah, I would have loved to have seen Mattingly finally get that World Series ring. But like you said, can't believe the Jays choked away the victory there with 2 outs left to go. But Anthony, man, great to have you back. We got to get into your Mets. Like what's going on? What do you think is going on with the Mets? Let's start with Alonso. I think he's the big one. What do you think is going on with Alonso?
I think the problem with the Mets generally is that they don't want to give the years. Now, with Alonso, I think it'd be worth it because, unless you go after Schwarber, I mean, at least he could be your DH down the road. And you bring in a first baseman that's a real good fielder, that's a decent hitter, maybe 15 to 20 homers, somebody like that. But the one that's killing me is this Diaz thing. I mean, give the guy the extra year. Because I think generally, when you go long-term contract, you're the starting pitcher, reliever, or position player, you get the most out of your reliever. How many relievers in the past were blowing guys away 39, 40 years old? Goose Gossage went to San Diego in 84. He was still throwing, right? Guys like that. I mean, the Mets, they have a lot of hope. I mean, I just understand what they're doing. He don't want to pay a starting pitcher, free agent, in long years. But you know what? They don't have an ace. They don't have a stopper. Like, remember when Seaver would stop a losing streak or Kuzma was coming up? They don't have that guy. You got to give a couple years. I'm not getting any younger, guys. None of us are getting out of here alive. I'd love to see one more World Series win.
Yeah, I definitely. See, Chris is spoiled because no matter what you say, Chris has seen a lot of World Series wins, okay? All right? So he's
I want to see them again, though. That's the thing.
See, because you're spoiled. The Yankee fans are spoiled. They want it back. Met fans, 86. We got to go all the way to 86, which we talk about all the time. But Ant, what if the Mets don't sign Diaz? What did you tell me on the phone yesterday? If the Mets don't sign Diaz,
if they don't sign Diaz, there's another thing now. I know Stearns is an expert, bringing these retreads back and getting them. But you know what? You got a couple guys in the minor leagues. You got Dylan Ross, I think, right? They throws over 100. You got to bring some of your own homegrown guys up, like Atlanta always used to do. and give him a shot. You got to go out there. You got to sign maybe Suarez from San Diego, but you got to get a couple high-quality guys in there. But to me, the most important thing is getting Diaz back. To me. I mean, he had one half a bad year, but I think he's the most important piece. You got Devin Williams. What are you waiting for now?
What do you think of that move, getting Devin Williams to taking another Yankee?
I didn't know much about his makeup. I knew him as a pitcher, but the way it's sounding, he's very receptive to being the setup guy for Diaz. He seems like a good clubhouse guy. You would know better than me, Chris. He was with the Yanks, but I mean, that was what their whole dream thing was, right? Getting them two guys together. You got the one guy. Now, what do you like treading water on this for?
Right. I agree. Listen, what Williams took a couple of months, maybe 3 months, really, to settle in and get used to New York, right? Because he's been pitching in Milwaukee. That's a huge difference. You know that is than New York. Nothing's like pitching in New York. So now that he's settled in, he did pitch much better down the stretch. So I think this was a good move for the Mets to sign him, right? Because this at least covers in case you can't get Diaz. But like you said, there's no reason not to bring Diaz back, right? Diaz, we've been talking about it. The guy is a proven closer in New York. And we know, all three of us know, that it's not easy to close games in New York, right? We've seen guys come in and out. Like you had Halsey last year. You see what he did. He couldn't even pitch the 8th inning, let alone close the game. So if Williams is what he was 2 years ago with Milwaukee, you guys got a great closer.
I don't want to see like an Armando Benitez kind of level kind of guy. When
Right.
Diaz walks the tightrope, usually gets himself out of it.
Right.
You know, but I mean, what do you have? Like maybe one half a bad year with the Mets? He didn't do too well.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, and real quick, we're gonna get and thanks Tone B. Clower, whatever that is. We appreciate you. We're going to get into the Hall of Fame in a little while because we got a lot to talk about that. We're going to talk about Mattingly, Murphy, and everything. That'll be in a little while. But yeah, Ant, if the Mets don't get Diaz, you're going to be pissed, aren't you?
Yeah. There'll be another hole in the wall somewhere next to the couple other dozen I punched over the years.
I don't think you should get that upset because you got a pretty good bullpen now with Williams. Right, because you got Brooks Raley, Minter. If all these guys are healthy, that's a pretty good bullpen, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But like I was saying, I think I'm sick of seeing like the Brooks Raleys and all these other guys that retread them. Remember when Atlanta's way of doing things in the past was they bring up a guy, start him in the bullpen for a while, and then make him into a starter.
Right.
Smoltz came up that way. He traded from Detroit. But, I mean, Dylan Ross is down there. You got Santucci down there. I don't know what they're looking at him at. Lambert's down there. You got some guys. Bring them up and see what they can do. Now, Ross, I heard, throws smoke. So, you know.
Right. Yeah. Well, and the Mets have the pieces for trades too, which is good. They had, that's the one good thing. They really built up that farm system since Cohen's owned the Mets. They took the dump that the Wilpons left them, and they really have built it up. So, so that's looking good. All right, we want to ask you about the Nimmo trade. How do you feel about the Nimmo trade?
Well, in my heart, it hurt. I love the guy. As a Met, always hustled. Nice guy, but when you're looking at the practical thing of it, he has that foot problem. His defense is starting to go down. He's putting up better offensive numbers. But let's face it, guys, the defense killed the Mets last year a lot of games.
Yeah.
All right?
Yep.
I mean, Simeon, he had one bad year with the bat last year. I think it changed the scenery. He may bounce back. If you can get 15, 20 homers from him, 80 RBI, he's a gold glove. That's what you need. You need to be solid up the middle on your team. Center, short, second, catcher. I like the trade. I mean, one for one. But romantically, I love the guy. I think he's a great player, great guy in the clubhouse. He's been a Met since he was 17. I mean, come on.
Yeah. We're gonna miss him. But yeah, you're definitely right about that. What else have you been following? Have you been following the hot stove, everything, or just the Mets?
The Mets, but everything. I'm watching what's going on. I mean, you got to keep track of what's going on in your division. I think how the Phillies and Mets fall. I really think if the Mets ever got Kyle Schwarber, that'd be a big punch to the Phillies. Bad. He probably had his career year last year because it was a contract year. We all know that. Well, you can get a Mets never had a good DH since it started. They haven't had anybody solid in that spot, right?
Mm-hmm.
What do you
Even
mean,
if he
Vogel?
hit, say, next year 40 homers, 45.
What do you mean, Vogel wasn't a good DH?
Who?
Vogelback.
Vogelbach?
Yeah.
Oh, God.
When he took the cheeseburger out of his mouth. Yeah, when he was, that guy didn't run around the bases. He waddled around the bases.
Listen, I think Alonso is more important anyway to bring back. And we've been talking about it. Even Bill brought it up Friday night, which I'm happy.
Yeah.
I'm not the crazy guy is because who is batting behind Juan Soto, right? If you don't have Alonso batting behind Soto, they're going to walk Soto. Soto's going to break the record for most walks in a season if you don't get a big bat behind him, right?
Yeah, well, that's the other side of it. If the Mets can't get Alonso, I was thinking Schwarber, but if they get Schwarber, they're too lefty heavy. I think the line's going to be too lefty heavy, right? Lindor's a traditionally better left-handed hitter than right, but like I said, even with Alonso, you give him the extra year, you could put him at DH down the road.
Yeah,
you're not going to lose anything by giving him the extra year. He's still going to hit.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. You're right. Now let's talk about Lindor for a second. Do you think Lindor is team captain material?
Now that Nimmo's gone, be honest with you, if Nimmo was still there, he'd be my team captain. He's the longest Met.
Do you think
Lindor? Yes, I love Lindor. I love his attitude, and he never misses a game. He's always out there.
That's Alonso.
Anthony, do you think a part of why Nimmo okayed the trade was because whenever the talk about the captaincy was brought up, it was only about Lindor and maybe Alonso. Like Nimmo's name was never really brought up. Do you think Nimmo took that a little bit as an insult? Like, hey, I've been here since I was, like you said, I've been here since I was 17. Maybe I should get.
Yeah, I'm sure it did bother him a little, but I think what really got him, I think talking to Jason DeGrom probably, I'm sure he reached out to him before the trade.
Mm-hmm.
And Nimmo's a rare breed to me. I don't know him personally or nothing, but just by seeing him, I think he figures, if they really are willing to trade me, maybe they don't want me, I'll go somewhere else, but he's not going to make a big deal about it. He's going to be thankful the Mets gave him a shot and everything.
Right.
Do you remember when they drafted him, they didn't even have a high school team where he lived.
That's right.
He lived in the Midwest. He didn't even play high school ball. Then they drafted him at 17, and when he was coming through, I remember I was like, man, he worked really hard to get where he's at. That shows you, the hard work he put in. I just think, he talked to DeGrom, and he probably said, my time's limited here. Even if I do stay, I'm not going to be out there as much,
John, that's Jonathan. I know that's Jonathan, so I'm just going to say Jonathan.
You know what? That's a little bonus you get by okaying that trade, right? Getting into a different tax thing, going from New York to Texas, right? So
that's true, too. He makes a good point.
Yeah, right?
Because in the end, we're all thinking about ourselves in the end, right? What's best for our families.
Yeah, hey, without a doubt.
Listen, you can't blame these guys. Me and Chris have said this time and time again. You can't blame them for taking the biggest contract, the most money. You're going to take it. Say we love the Mets, but we're fans. We love the Mets. Chris loves the Yankees. But say we got signed to broadcast. Say the Yankees wanted me to broadcast Yankee games.
Rob is not saying no.
I'm not saying no, and Chris is not saying no. If the Mets ask him to work in the broadcast booth,
right?
He's not saying no. That's neither you, Anthony. If the Yankees do, no. If the Rays do, anybody. So that's the point is. You can't blame these guys for going where the money is.
No. And also, too, think about this. Getting back to Alonso. Alonso turned down 7 years, right? He turned down a 7-year deal, 2 years ago?
Yes.
So now he would have 5 years left. So that's got to be on his mind. Like, hey, I turned down a 7-year deal.
He bet on himself again this year. And he came through. Good. He was probably the most clutch guy on the team with men in scoring position. He carried them the first 2 months.
Yeah, he had a good season. You can't do much better than what he did, right?
He made up for that horrible walk-off year in 2024. That's for sure, and that's why he signed with that opt-out because he probably he said, listen, I can't do that again. I'm going to have a great year. I'm going to concentrate. I'm going to be clutch, and then I'm going to opt out of that contract, and I'm going to get the payday that I should have gotten.
It's a win-win, really, when you're a guy like that. All right, if I do really well, I can opt out. I'll get more money. But if I stink up the joint, I'm still going to get over $20 million a year. I just, won't opt out.
Yeah, it's definitely a win. It's definitely a win-win. But we'll see with the winter meetings, Chris and Anthony. They started, and I'm sure this week there's going to be a lot going on. I'm looking forward to it.
And he's traveling to the winter meetings. He's going to be there, so he's going to go around and maybe talk to Boston, obviously the Mets, and who else, who other team. I'll be honest, I don't think the Yankees have interest in him because obviously we got Stanton as the DH, and he's not going anywhere for at least 2 more years. So we're kind of stuck there. So I don't think Alonso and the Yankees are a match. So before anybody starts, I know a lot of people are like, hey, maybe the Yankees should sign Alonso. Nah, there's
I'm
no
here in
way.
Boston.
Yeah, Boston.
I'm here in Boston's the biggest.
Yep.
Or listen.
Philly. Think about it. If Philly doesn't sign Schwarber for whatever reason, I'm sure signing Alonso would be, their next guy. So
now, if you guys wanted to hear, if Anthony Savino was the general manager of the Mets right now, what I would do.
I know. I know what you would do.
The only person off the board in my farm system you're not getting is McClain. He's off. Don't even ask.
Right.
That's number one. Number two, I would try to make a trade to get Quan or Duran as my center fielder. Right? You're loaded in the farm. I would either try to sign Bellinger or Tucker for left field. That's that.
Okay.
Alonso back, of course, and all that. Pitching, I kind of see why the Mets are trying to get rid of Senga. They want to get rid of some of the contract, but the other Japanese pitcher, Imma, coming over, he wants to be the only Japanese player on the team he's on. So I'm sure that's floating in their mind.
Oh, so maybe trade Senga to.
Yeah, I would try to get Skubal if I could, but not anybody in the farm system. Even Benj, if I could get the right guy, because you know what, you really don't know. Let's look at who they brought up. Beatty, number one, he's been like up and down. Ventos had a half of a good year, and Alvarez still has he was supposed to be a can't miss. He's still,
and it gets into too much.
Here.
Yeah. I mean, of course he's a catcher.
They're all lottery tickets.
Yeah,
right? That's what some might hit, some might.
I really think if Alvarez doesn't push forward this year with his bat, I think this is his last year where he's going to be kind of untouchable. I think if he don't come through now, he's got to grow up in his head a little bit, I think, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. All right, we want to get into a little Yankees and some of that Hall of Fame stuff. But before we get there, there's a couple, we have a couple of listeners' questions. So Chris is going to have to put up some photos. Chuck from Bayonne wants to know, there's this thing in Texas called the broomstick burger. Would Anthony Savino eat the broomstick burger? It's 2 foot long, loaded with toppings, chili, cheese, jalapenos, and onion rings. Would you eat that, Anthony?
Oh, man.
Well,
I hope
to answer his question, if there's a handicapped bathroom still in the restaurant, I'd probably eat it right now. They just slide it right under the door because there's no way for me to go anywhere. I would just go sit and wait to eat. Why make trips back and forth when the inevitable is going to happen?
So you would eat that, but you would eat that in the bathroom.
Has to be a handicap stall. Need leg room, need space. You know what I mean? For the burger and process.
We're going to have a gurney ready for you so we could get you into the hospital after that.
Yeah.
Man, any one of us would be in the hospital if we ate that.
Yeah.
My wife made Venus turkey chili, and when she first made it, she said, "Ready to eat? Where are you?" I said, "I'm in the bathroom. Just slide the bowl in here." I know what you're doing to me here.
Oh man! All right, that's one thing. Then since this guy wrote that in, I got a couple other pictures. Why don't you put up the? Okay, listen to this one, Anthony. This is a 50-foot hot dog called the Glitzy, made at Rate Field, home of the White Sox, for Bill Veeck night last year. All right, 50-foot hot dog. How much of that do you think you could eat?
Ooh.
I don't even know if I would I would fall to my knees and know there was a God, and I'd probably be crying. and then I start ripping into. I don't know how far I make it, but I cried the whole time I was eating it.
Probably.
Would
I love
you
that thing?
now listen? That would be perfect for a double header, right?
Double header. That'd be perfect for the month of May.
And then, and then you'd be in the head for a double header if you ate that
I'd
thing.
be in the
That's-
bathroom until June, end of June, 4th of July. You'd see me coming out.
All right, and then if you eat all that stuff, right? Put up that other one, Chris.
You need to
If
watch
you
it
eat
down.
all that stuff, you need something to wash it down with. This is a Trident Cup, okay? It's at T-Mobile Park, Seattle Mariners Stadium, 32 ounces. Okay, listen to this, and it includes a free refills for the whole season. That's for $24.99.
That's actually not bad.
It's not a bad deal, and they're not going to serve you beer in
I'm
that.
getting
But
old. My kidneys are getting weak. I'd be standing up the whole winter. I wouldn't get more than an hour's sleep.
see, but with that thing, you have to bring it back and forth to the ballpark all year because
You know what? I would just get a catheter installed. What's the
There you
sense?
go. That's easy.
so there's some of the stuff our listener came up with. All
That's
right.
some great stuff, man. I love that.
There you go.
It is great. That burger does look good, Chris.
That would be like a group. Like if we all
Yeah.
went to the game, we could split it up. And
yeah, Anthony ain't
Mel was
split,
with us. Maybe the four of us. That would be
Anthony
fun.
ain't splitting that with us. Come on.
You know there's a
I don't
God
know.
when you see things like that. You know God exists.
All right. So now we're gonna get into Chris. Why don't you get into the Hall of Fame stuff? Let's talk
All
about
right, we
that.
got to talk. All right, Jeff Kent gets voted in on that committee, which I totally agree. Jeff Kent, we were talking about it the other day, right? All
Yeah.
8 of those players deserve to get into the Hall of Fame, right? So obviously we knew all 8 weren't going to get in, but let's check it out. Here's the voting. Jeff Kent, you needed 12 votes to get in out of the 16 people that were voting. Kent got 14 out of the 16, which is great. Delgado only got 9. And Mattingly and Murphy got 6 each. Now, here's another thing that kind of upset me is that, remember, there were 7 former players that were on that voting committee, right?
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
16. So that means one player at least didn't vote for Donnie or Murphy,
Yeah.
which I find very insulting for them.
So
Yeah.
they need 12 to get in, you said, right?
Yeah, out of the 16.
Yeah, Jeff Kent. Delgado got close. Now, those guys, but listen, the steroid guys, we talked about this so many times. I don't think Bonds and Clemens are probably ever going to get in unless something drastically changes. And Dan says Mattingly's record speaks for itself, makes him sick. What the hell are these riders looking at?
I agree, Dan.
Yeah, I agree with you too. But remember also, if Mattingly gets in, Hernandez has to get in. That's listen,
I
right,
was thinking of
Anthony?
this. I look at Kent when he was with the Mets. Maybe they didn't give him enough, but he didn't do much with us.
Right.
He did most of his bashing in San Francisco. But if you're going to put him in, how does not Delgado or Mattingly not get in?
Right.
Delgado was doing it with the Blue Jays. He did it with the Mets consistently. I don't know how
Yeah.
them two guys don't get in.
And he had 470 home runs, Carlos
Yeah.
Delgado. I mean, that
Now,
guy-
I
Dale
think-
Murphy to me is borderline. He was hot for like the first 5 or 6 years. He was killing it, and he fell off a cliff. Remember?
Yeah, yes, but he did have back-to-back MVP, 2 consecutive
Yeah.
MVP wins.
I think he did enough. I'll
See,
be
I
honest.
look at
I don't think
length.
enough.
I look at length of a career. To me, I mean, the numbers are great, but when a guy can do it, if one guy does it 5 and the other guy does it 9, like you look at Mattingly, year after year after year after year, he was there. Delgado too, for that matter, with Toronto and then the Mets.
Now, do you guys, Chris, I'm going to ask you this first. Do you think with this group who voted, the players and the journalists, right, for this
And
contemporary,
executives, I think somewhere MLB executives.
yeah, executive, that's right. Do you think any of that has to do with Mattingly's post-game history, postseason history? I mean, do you think because he barely played in the postseason with these voters, I'm not talking about the regular Hall of Fame, do you think that had anything to do with it?
I don't know. I mean, is Jeff Kent known as a post game? I mean, as a playoff guy? Is
Yeah, you're right.
Murphy, Delgado, any of those guys? I don't think so.
Not Murphy.
No.
No.
So I don't think that has to do. I think his career, just after he hurt his back and he played, the last 10 years or so, probably a little less, with the back not being great and, and not getting to say 3,000 hits, not getting to, the big numbers for a first baseman. Right.
Right.
Like when you look at his career numbers are, 2,100 hits, 222 home runs, did bat 307 for his career, 1,099 RBIs, a little over 1,000 runs scored. So I just think, listen, he had that great run, obviously, until 87-ish, and then everything went downhill from there. But that was because of the back and all that. And he also retired early. He retired when he was 34. He said it. He said it in that last documentary they had for him, that he would have kept playing, but he went home to be with his kids. He had a young son who now is with the Phillies organization, right? I think he's the GM of the Phillies. So he wanted to be with his family. So he could have stayed, may not have been with the Yankees, because remember, they traded for Tino after the 95 season. So maybe he goes somewhere else, but I think
wasn't his back in bad shape though.
Yeah. But he said he did enough through therapy and surgery or whatever he did that he could have continued playing. He said that's what he said. I'm just going by what he said.
Could have been a DH, I guess, right?
Yeah, maybe if he stayed in the American League at the time.
He only played one postseason, though, right? The last year.
Yeah, just 95, 5 games. That was it. And he listen. It was only 5 games, but he played great in those 5 games, right? He batted like 4, something, whatever it was. So he had a good 5 games. It's not right. But you got to look at
Delgado to me. But Delgado, I mean, when he played with Toronto, back then you didn't see him much. But when he came to I've seen him have monster games. I've seen him, I don't know, who was the Yankees or the Phillies, had like 10 RBIs in a game, a couple home runs. I mean, he was a basher for the Mets.
Yeah, he was. I love when Delgado played.
That 2005 team was the worst disappointment ever, I think.
No, the 2016.
That's when Beltran took the third call strike in Game 7, right?
2006, yes. 2000. Believe me, I was sitting there. It was horrible.
Delgado, 2-time All-Star, 3-time Silver Slugger, Clemente Award winner, and Player of the Year award as well.
See, but you got to remember, a lot of writers had a problem with Delgado because when he played for the Blue Jays, he would not stand up for the national anthem. For the United States, so they did have a problem. They had a problem with that. But when he got to the Mets, that was all changed. Everything was different.
That was a good team, boy.
That was a great team. That was one of the best New York Met teams. Listen, driving home,
and Reyes, right? They were rookies, basically.
Yep.
That was right. And then you had Beltran, Delgado.
That team. Listen, that team.
Luis Castillo.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I mean that team was great. The drive home after that Game 7 was hard. That game was horrible. Let me tell you. I'll never forget that. That was almost as bad as when I had to drive home after the Yankees won the World Series.
If that was me and I was batting in Game 7 and took a third call strike, when my wife came home, she would have walked right into the back of my feet from me hanging from the rails upstairs. I would have hung myself. Taking a third call strike like that in Game 7 of the championship series.
Right over the plate, too. It wasn't like a close pitch.
It wasn't even like it wasn't close.
No, it wasn't.
Listen, that gives me nightmares thinking about that. I can't.
Listen,
Delgado found me twisted in the wind from a noose. I'll tell you that. If that was me.
Delgado also 7 times he received MVP votes.
Yeah, that's
17 years. That's pretty good, man. I mean, I think this is a Hall of Famer. 483 career home runs, 1,500 RBIs, 280 batting average. That was. This is a Hall of Famer.
That's pretty high. That's pretty high career average for a guy hit that many home runs.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. All right, so guys, let's talk about a couple of other things. I want to get Anthony's take on the Baltimore Orioles signing Ryan Helsley to a 2-year, $28 million contract after how he pitched for the New York Mets
To
after
my
the
brothers
trade.
down south, good luck with that. Well, you know
Yeah.
what? Maybe not. I told you guys, I first came on this show, when players put on a Met uniform, it's like Superman wearing kryptonite around their neck. They lose all their baseball powers. Henry put on a Met uniform, all of a sudden, his ERA went up like 5 runs.
Yeah, listen, that happens. It doesn't always happen. We focus on that crap, okay? But it doesn't always happen.
I like
Remember
to see
when
bring back Taylor back though, the submariner. He'd be nice for the bullpen.
Yeah.
Chris likes him.
Yeah.
You're going to shore up the defense. That's the guy you want pitching out of the bullpen, right?
Yeah. And you know what? He also gives you a different look. He's not just rearing back and throwing 100, right? Like some of these guys do.
They didn't play good behind him this year, Chris.
Yeah.
They made a lot of errors behind that guy.
Yeah. And that's the reason why that's where you bring in, you know, why there's so much of we don't want Alonso back from Stearns, because Alonso is not a great first baseman. I'm not saying he's the only guy that made errors, but you know, they want to upgrade, you know, their defense.
It's common sense. You're going to bring a guy in that pitches to contact. You don't want to have your fielders wearing cinder blocks as gloves on the field. Right. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and last year,
that's why they brought in the second baseman too.
Yeah, right? You're right, because listen, McNeil, who really he's a really good fielder, he made a bunch of mistakes last year too. It looked like his head wasn't into it. So maybe it's time for McNeil to move on, go somewhere else. I think so. What do you think, Ant?
Him, Senga.
Senga,
what I'm seeing now,
I don't know
because of Beatty had a good half a year. He had like an 803 OPS towards the end, and his fielding improved. And I guess they're going to give him a shot at third. You know, but I think he could be a good hitter for them.
Yeah, but, I don't know, Chris. You're iffy on Senga, right?
Listen, until you sign a legit starter, you know, I'm talking about a top of the rotation starter. I wouldn't move Senga, because when he's healthy, I know that's a big if, but when he's healthy, the guy he pitches really well. So I wouldn't just trade him to trade him. I would wait. And here's another thing. You trade him now, you're trading him at his value is really low because of the season he had. I would actually start the season with him.
You think any of that's in his head? Besides being hurt, you don't think any of his problems is in his head?
I don't know. Why, you think so?
I don't know. It just seems like, I don't know. But I'll tell you one guy I don't want here is Fairbanks. Don't want him. No, for this reason, really. He has a medical condition. I was just aware of it. When it's real cold out, he loses the feeling in the tip of his fingers.
Oh.
So now you're going to be pitching in New York April, May, and if you're in a postseason, it's going to be cold in October. I don't want that guy out there who can't feel in the ball in situations like that.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point.
Makes sense.
All right, let's get to something that could be considered a joke. The Pittsburgh Pirates made an offer to Schwarber for 4 years for $100 million. Do you think that's just a fake order so they could say, well, look, we're trying? Because there's no way in hell he's signing with the Pittsburgh Pirates.
No, I guess that's why they offered it. But wouldn't it be funny if he said yes and watch them like watching deer in the headlights?
Right. We got to play this now.
He's really signing with us, you know?
Right. Oh my God, we gotta sign. We gotta actually write this check out. Wait a minute.
You better trade schemes. We're in trouble.
Exactly. No, but you know what? The Pirates actually, they're a team that should do this because they got a lot of young starting pitching, right? So they got the hard part out of the way.
They got 2 or 3 guys in the minors ready to come up. That should be pitched. You can be pitching anywhere else. That's
what I mean. So they got the pitching, and that's the hard part for me. When you're building a team, the rest bullpen, you know, you find guys off the street, and you could fix them, right? So if they add a guy like Schwarber to a lineup that's really the offense, there's no offense there.
No,
they still got to get another piece or two, but. You know what? Maybe and look at that division. That division's not great.
And they got the rookie shortstop, number 1 prospect, right? They're probably going to bring him up.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah. Like I said, again, there is a God because I could be a Pirates fan.
Yeah, well, see, there's always something.
Could always be worse.
I'd be going nuts right now with the pitching I got. And I'm saying you can't squeeze your wallet a little bit and get me some hitters in here. And that division, like you said.
Yeah, that would drive me nuts as a fan, because it's like you got this team where you got this young, starting rotation that's really good, and you'd spend nothing on the rest of your team because you got a cheap owner. And that you have a great stadium too, right?
Yeah, I was just going to say that. That's one of the most beautiful ballparks in the major leagues, right? Everyone who goes there says they love it. I don't know. That's why
place the Mets could go get a starter, and the team needs a little hitting, and that's if it's Kansas City. I don't know why. I would try to see if they take McNeil, maybe give me one of them lefties, Bubick or the other guy. I don't know.
Yeah,
throw a prospect in there.
Give him.
Joe Dell thinks Cohen should hand Anthony his checkbook for a season and let him sign some players.
Thank you, my friend. You'll be right beside me signing them checks, making deals with me.
There you go. Yes.
There you go. All right, so let's change this to the Yankees. Luke Weaver, Chris. What's going on with Weaver?
I don't know. I think they're kind of feeling him out, and they're feeling other teams out. See if he's getting any big offers. Because he didn't pitch well last year. If he pitched well, I think he would have got some big offers to close for some teams, right? Because what he did 2 years ago with the Yankees, but he really didn't pitch well last year after the injury. So I don't know if a team is going to be willing to give him, closer type money to close for their team. So I think they're just waiting to see what kind of deals he gets. And you know what? If it's not that high, then maybe they'll stop. Then they'll maybe jump in and offer him something. But until then, I think they're going to wait it out.
Personally, though, do you want to see him back? That's what I want to know.
Listen, I don't think he's going to be able to pitch a whole season. Right? He's never been able to. He's never been able to hold up. So I wouldn't offer him a lot of money. I wouldn't offer him a lot of years either, obviously. Give him maybe a year with a second-year option or something like that. Try to be creative. But if you could get him on the cheap, sure, why not bring him back? Because I do like him when he is healthy, and he does pitch pretty decent out of the bullpen. But, I'm not giving him a closer job or something like that, or, making him my eighth-inning guy to set up Bednar right now. So, but if I could get him cheap, yeah, why not?
That was a great move that the Yankees made at the trade deadline, getting Bednar. Really was.
Yeah.
I think that was one of the best.
They needed
moves.
A closer, and between him and adding Duvall, the guy from the Giants, I think he's got really good stuff. So maybe, working with our guys now, maybe he'll refine it and figure it out a little more. So we'll see.
I think I think with the Yankees is that, when is that Stanton contract run out? 2035? What is he signed till he's 60? When is that contract going to expire?
This year and one more, and then he's got an option year. So figure 2 more. That's it.
Oh.
It feels like he's been there since I was 17 years old or something.
I know. Trust me. I got a lot of gray hair here because of him.
Yeah.
All right. I have a question.
Another into my head. At least you got him.
I know.
I have another.
I got to pay. I'm not going to have eyebrows next year if we don't win anything in the playoffs and have nothing.
And nobody wants to see that.
Now he's going to paint them on for me like this. Look like the Joker.
All right, we got another
Uncle Leo in Seinfeld.
Yes, Uncle Leo. That's right. I have another viewer question for Anthony. Okay, Pete from Queens wants to know if you've ever visited any other ballparks besides Citi Field and Yankee Stadium.
Porsche.
Oh,
Porsche.
Yeah, I was at the Vet, the old Vet. I was down in Baltimore. The old Vet is very fan friendly to other teams. I'll tell you that.
I was there. I was at the Vet.
Sure it was.
Yeah,
sure it was.
Yeah.
They
So
wanted to
what-
kill me as soon as I locked the car. They were coming after me.
You didn't have any fights at the Vet, right? No. It was peaceful.
At a Giant game, I did.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Trust me, I went there for an Eagle Giant game, and I seen numerous fights.
I got hit in the back of the head with a beer or a soda. Somebody had a Giant jersey on, and then the guy yelled at me to take it off. I said, "You don't like my jersey?" He said, "So you come down and you can take it off. You can have it." And then I got thrown out.
When I was younger, I actually dated someone who worked in the Philadelphia Phillies front office. Chris knows about this. And so I used to go whenever the Mets went to Veterans Stadium. I used to go, and I used to go for other games too, just because of that. And she used to say, please don't wear your Mets shirt.
Well, I got to tell you, the worst stadium altercation I was ever involved in, and I didn't even throw a punch in it. The Jets were playing the Bills. My friend on the pizzeria, this guy was just missed making the Olympics boxing team. He was the last guy cut. He was a huge Bills fan. Actually showed up with the Bills hard hat. He had his Fruity Flakes box and all in his jersey. We're leaving. And they hit him in the back of the head with an apple. Jet fan. Oh, so he takes his hat off and he gives me his Fruity Flake box. He says, make sure they don't crush my box. And they started charging him. I swear to God, he knocked out 6 guys in a row with the same punch. Run out and boom, hit one, boom. And they were just falling. And I was holding the Fruity Flakes looking, going, oh, my God. When I gave him the box back, I go, look, there's no creases in it or anything. It's good.
Don't punch me.
He knocked like 6 guys out in 10 minutes. He hit one guy, and he just kept knocking them out.
Wow.
And I'm holding his son's hand like this. I go, boy, your dad's a real tough guy, huh?
Listen.
And I didn't do anything.
What was he, like a Navy SEAL or something?
Yeah.
And they didn't know?
No, that guy, he was a boxer, but he was real good, but man, he was quick. He just go boom, bang, every guy.
And Joe Dell says he's changed his mind. He likes you better on the show than Eddie Lynch.
There you go. That's high praise right there.
And yeah, that is because he loves when Eddie Lynch is on the show. So that's really good. But okay, so Philadelphia is crazy to see a game.
They're terrible there.
They really are. That's why we love giving it to the Phillies because they.
But if you guys really want to know the worst one I was ever involved in.
Okay, of course we do.
Yeah,
you got to ask.
Party. We decided we're going to go to Giant Stadium for the New Jersey Generals. Remember them?
Oh, yes. Trump owned them. Yes.
So we're all sitting there. We're pretty, I'm talking. I said, I bet you I can run the whole football field before they catch me. So we were trying to figure it out. I dropped down. By the time I hit the 20, they may be looking. By the time I'm at the 50, they'll just realize I'm out there. I got to make it 50 yards. So they bet me. They put all the money in the hat. I jumped down. Just like we planned, I hit the 50. They tackle me to the 20. They pummel me, man. They drag me out of there. I made 20 yards short of the goal. Man, but laughing.
Not bad, though. That's
because you're really not going to do it. I was 19 and drunk. Yeah, I'm doing it. Yeah, I got
hammered. You ran 80 yards. So you basically ran 80 yards.
Yeah, well, they don't realize you're on the field until, like, you're at midfield. So you got to scramble the last 50. You're not coming. By the time you drop and hit the field, no one's paying attention. Now you're on the 20. People like making noise, and then you're at the 50. They realize now you got to go. Now you got to break for it.
You should have got like.
I think I got shoestring tackle. Somebody hit me at the ankle, and I started stumbling, and I was done.
You should have carried a football and a helmet with you. You could have been like,
yeah.
Didn't the Jets call you? Didn't the Jets call you the next day and try to sign you for a contract?
Yeah, but I was working for Public Works. I enjoyed the asphalt aspect, being outdoors and helping people, I couldn't be bothered with that NFL stuff.
Oh, man. All right, so I got to get back. I got to get back to baseball for a second.
That's it, guys. That's more stories.
We love the stories. So don't, if a story pops in your head,
you probably got further than most people do, right? Most people you see run and then they get tackled quick. So going like 80 yards, man, that's a good run.
Well, you actually planned it out, though, Chris. You got to realize, like when a guy jumps down, they don't realize, there he is. Like they're not even paying attention. Then the crowd starts, ooh, ha, and then what's going on? You're at the 50 already.
Right.
You scramble in the last 50. You're going for it, So you try to keep your wind with you. You do a little jog, and then you sprint.
Right.
I didn't make it.
You didn't make it. You came close.
My friend said, actually, when they were watching it, they actually had, like back then, they put it on the screen. He said, "Look like I got shoestring." The guy swiped, caught my ankle, and I started stumbling, and then I got buried.
Hey, Herschel Walker told Trump sign that guy.
Yeah, probably, yeah. That's right.
That's great. All right, so let's talk about some possible trades. We talked about this for a second, but what's your take on Scooble? What do you think?
To me, my thing, I don't know if they can still do this, but I would say, I mean, other than McClain, I would give him any combination of guys they wanted, but I would say you got to see if I could sign him. At least, you know what I mean? I don't know if they could do that anymore. Didn't they do it with Piazza back in the day? Before they see, you know, I have a chance to sign him. I'm not going to trade all them guys for 1 year. You know what I mean? If you get hit, whoever gets him is a big get for them. Anybody, Yankees, Mets, Phillies, whoever. It's a plus.
We agree.
Listen, the Yankees did it 2 years ago with Soto, right? They gave up 5 guys or whatever it was, and they knew they only had Soto for 1 year, right? They were hoping to sign him afterwards, but they knew it was only going to be a 1 year rental. So they took a shot, and they got to the World Series. I think if Scooble's there.
I don't like this retread rotation thing. You got to have an ace.
Right.
You
do.
I agree.
Yeah, you definitely do.
And I think the one guy that could be big for them this year, he has a year. I think Clay Holmes, if he could, from what he did this year, get a little stronger wise, he pitched pretty good at the end of the year, considering it was his first year starting in a while. We'll see.
Yeah.
And now all these Yankee fans, and Chris is not one of them, because Chris isn't the typical Yankee fan. You know, they're screaming now, the Mets are signing all our players. The Mets are signing all our players.
Take Devin Williams. You think listen, if you guys remember, right, last year when he was pitching bad, there wasn't a Yankee fan out here that didn't say we should cut him or trade him or give him away or whatever. So
they were waiting at his car with pitchforks and torches. Now they're upset that he's gone.
Take him. I really don't care. This is better than getting rid of Clay Holmes at the end of the year. Goodbye. Take him. You want him? Great. Goodbye.
I mean, I'll tell you, when I was a kid, I hated the Yankees because I was a Met fan. But I don't hate the Yankees. I respect them. I respect their fan. I hate the Dodgers, the Phillies. Them I hate.
Right.
I don't care.
Division
I like
exactly.
the Yankees do good. As long as they're not beating my team at the end, I don't care.
Exactly.
Yeah, and doing a show with Chris, it's like I can't hate the Yankees anymore because
you can.
Nah, I can't.
I know.
I'm not going to root for him, but
what I used to call hate, I guess is really envy as you get older. That's what it really is.
Yeah. Because listen, Chris, I have to give Chris credit because not that it's made this way, but this show has been leaning Mets only because we've been getting a lot of Mets guests, okay? Yeah. And we're working on Yankee people too, but it's been rougher. I mean, it's not like we're both trying, but we've had Met players, manager, we've had riders, but Chris, I give Chris all the credit in the world because he's had a listen.
Rob, it's baseball. That's I love talking.
But
baseball.
You're a baseball fan too. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I'm a baseball fan first, actually, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like if there was a Philly fan on here, if I could get through the computer, I probably would go after him.
Listen, we've had a couple of people on that are Phillies podcasters.
Yeah, they were okay.
They were okay. I'm
talking like the regular fan.
Oh no.
No. One of them did get mad at me though when I texted him when the Phillies lost. I said, I know this hurts. I was being nice, and he got pissed for a second, but then he wrote back. He's like, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to take it out on you.
Well, I had an Eagle fan next door to me in Philly my whole life, and when the Eagles won a Super Bowl a couple years back, he was dancing on my front lawn like on purpose. So I said, I had a dream last night. He goes, what? I go, the Phillies plane was flying north, the Eagles was going south, the Sixers were going west, and the Flyers were going east, and they all met right over Kansas, and they all exploded. I said, then I went to sleep like this. I said, then I got a news report at 4 a.m. The whole city of Philadelphia sunk into the Delaware River. I rolled over and just went, ah. That's what I did. That's how much I hate the Phillies.
And Dan, I get it about the Dodgers. I think everybody hates the Dodgers now. I mean, except if you're
I hated them, but I said, why can't everybody else do what they're doing by deferring payments? Why can't the Mets do that?
Right.
They did it with Devin Williams, right? A little bit.
Wait, the Mets did do that with Bobby Bonilla. Okay, the Mets started that crap.
And you guys celebrate it every year.
I'm not talking like, but like 30. I know he's still getting a check.
Right.
Yeah.
crazy.
It is. It's nuts. But so the Mets started that stuff, but the Dodgers perfected it, especially with Otani. That was genius. It really was.
I think about it now. I made a mistake when I was in the ice show at Madison Square Garden back in the 80s when I used to figure skate. I should have got the first payments. That's when I was like 100 pounds lighter. I was light on my feet. I wanted all the money now. What a mistake.
We would have loved to have some video of that.
Yeah, that's gotta be something.
Let me dig through the archives. Maybe I can pull something up.
Yeah, we would love that. Okay, I got another
running 80 yards at Giant Stadium. That's all I want to see.
Yeah, I want to see both. I'm going to tell you the truth. All right, we got another question. This is from Enrique from the Bronx. He wants to know, what's your go-to slice of pizza, Anthony?
Go-to? It varies, but if I can get a good vodka pie with a nice cut-up sausage on it, that's my go-to slice.
All right.
And the crust got to be nice. Not like when you bite into it at the end, you feel like your teeth broke off. I don't like that kind of crust. I like soft.
Do you like any particular pizza place? Is there a favorite that you have?
Have you found one in Jersey yet since you moved out there?
Well, I'm feeling them out now. I'm testing them all out,
Good.
And they're being rated on pizza, consistency, ingredients, downtime, getting to my house, attitude. Right now, I'm running through the things right now with them here.
You could be the new Dave Portnoy.
Yeah,
rating.
Staten Island, all the pizza was good. Most of it,
well, because they were all from Brooklyn, probably, right?
I mean, over here it's a flip up. You can get a good meat sauce and macaroni, egg noodles and ketchup over here. You don't know. I'm in Jersey. I'm by the Pine Barrens.
Yeah, a lot. You never know what you're going to get with the Pine Barrens.
I saw Bigfoot swimming in the canal last night. That's how far in the woods I am.
You got to find a place that's from New York. You got to, like some of them moved from, New York.
Yeah, they're doing that now. Levitos, I hear, Levati's or something that's down this way.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, Aunt, your wife says you have the best stories, and they're all true. Yes, we definitely know that.
Definitely the best story.
When I started telling her these stories at first, I bet her she never believed. She thought I was embellishing until she met my friends, and they were telling the same exact thing. She says, "You guys didn't have much of a life, did you?" No, not really. I said,
"No,
all of it is true."
Not really.
Listen, from the first time I met Anthony, we were cracking up. I'll tell you. The first time I met him.
You know what the best is when you talk to people like your old friends, a guy I grew up with. He'll bring up stories I even forgot about. Like he was telling me. I remember we went to Seton Hall to a frat party, and the guy that, God rest his soul, this guy Kenny, was driving a car from Animal House, that big black Cadillac thing. I remember in the movie.
Yeah.
He went through the toll booth about 90, through the change. We get to the frat house. We knew a guy from our town. He's telling us to come up. They had a security guard. The guy goes, "Hold up there. Hold up." So I go, "What are you supposed to be?" "I'm security." So my friend whispered, "He's a midget." I was like, "Get out of here." I pushed him. We fell off the rail. We didn't even get inside. We had to fight our way out of there. He was telling me, "Remember that?" I go, "I don't remember." He goes, "Yeah, it was bad. He just threw the midget right off the rail." I said, "I don't remember. We were hammered already. I don't remember that." And then I'm looking. The guy was sitting and his legs were swinging like this. I didn't even know. I'm security.
Oh my God.
That's what do they listen? We got to call that a height challenge or something now, right?
Yeah. I don't know if that's, I don't know what's the right term anymore.
That's before I became refined and politically correct,
Yeah.
Yeah. True. Politically correct. Right. All right. So let's see. I want to get back to the Mets for a second. All right. We asked you the GM question, right? Mm-hmm. Who is the one player, though? You only could pick one. If the Mets were only able to re-sign, whatever, one player, which is the one player that Anthony signs?
Alonso or Diaz?
I'd have to go with Diaz. I'm sorry. I know Alonso's a lot of power. We can always find a guy to replace that power. I don't think you can find another guy to replace Diaz like that. I don't know. I will go with Diaz.
What about you, Chris, out of those two? What do you say?
Now that you got Williams, I'm going to say Alonso because you need a bat behind. Like I said earlier, You need
Yeah,
that
you're
back
right. I
behind
don't know.
Soto, man. Because right now, give me your lineup. What 1 to 4?
You can't. Right now you
can't,
can't
right?
because you don't know where Viento. I don't want to see Vientos playing
Yeah, who's first
first.
base for you guys right now?
No, I don't want to see Vientos playing first. I don't want to see him playing anything. I want to see him traded.
Yeah, his head, he's got to grow up a little bit in his head.
Maurizio too. Like, what's going to go on with him? He hasn't done what everyone thought he would do. It's like you said, it's a lottery. It's the lottery. You never know. Beatty's starting to come. Beatty was playing well. Then he got injured, sat out the rest of the season, but he was starting. So if they keep Beatty out of all those guys, I'd like to see them keep Beatty. But everyone else is
another
traded.
thing people don't realize with all these guys, as much as talent they may have, you got to look at what's in their head and how they approach things and how they handle things. I think out of Alvarez, Ventos, and Beatty, I think Beatty probably has the best head out of the three of them. I mean, you really can't tell when he's not going right or going bad, but the other two, when they're not going right, you can tell. Alvarez swings at everything when he's going bad.
Oh yeah, and plus he's been injured a lot too, like we said. All right, Anthony, you're running things at Citi Field. All right, are you still playing? Are we still gonna say to Lindor, could you please change your walk-up music already? Is it enough with this My Girl when they're losing and people are? I hate when they're losing. Chris knows this. I hate when they're losing, especially when they blew it this season and everybody's up dancing and singing My Girl.
Yeah, you shouldn't be thinking about any girl when you're walking up to the plate to hit the ball. You'd be wanting to kick some butt. You think get some Metallica going, little Hell's Bells.
There you go.
Put the fear of God into them, not about your girl. Who cares about your girl?
Right.
Hit the ball.
I mean, I think that's for his daughter, but still, I don't want to see that. And we talked about this on the last show.
Unless his daughter can hit better than him in certain situations, then forget My Girl.
Hey, and I don't care who's hitting behind Soto this year. If Lindor ain't getting on base, you know what? They're gonna walk Soto. They're gonna walk him. Soto's gonna break the record this year.
You've been saying that. If they don't, you're right. You said 200. I said 250.
Right.
Why would you pitch to him?
If you get Lindor out, why would you pitch to Soto? I would walk him, right? The only thing that you might
two things are going to happen here. Either they're going to go out and sign a couple big guys for the outfield or whatever, or they're going to have to give some of these guys in the minor leagues a shot and see what they can do.
Yeah.
I mean, besides the early 80s with the Strawberries and Dykstras and Backman, this is probably the best position players that had all at one time in the farm that I can remember. It's always been pitching. It's always been strong with the point.
Yeah.
But even this kid Elon Pena that they got down there is supposed to be,
All right, so here, before you go, Anthony, I'm going to ask you first and then Rob. Give me your prediction. What do you think the Mets offseason is going to look like? Do you think Alonso's coming back? Do you think Diaz is coming back? Like, what else do you think that they're going to do? Not what you want to do or not what Rob wants to do, but what you think they're going to do.
I think they're going to try to get – I think he's going to try to get Peralta. That's what I think he's going to try to do.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he's going to sign Diaz. He's probably going to try to get somebody else, maybe from San Diego. I think Alonso will be back, and if the only reason why he's back is because I think the market's getting a little colder for him. I think it's him in Boston, and I don't think there's that much money between them. He'll probably stay. You're not going to see Tucker. You're not going to see Bellinger, I don't think. I think maybe he'll swing a trade, try to swing a trade and get maybe Duran. I don't know. Maybe Benj will be out there. I mean, Sturge is a funny bird. I mean, I don't know what he's thinking sometimes, but I know he's big on that read. It worked. It helped a lot of guys, but you can't depend on that solely.
Right.
You got to get an ace in here.
Right. You got to get the big fish sometimes.
Yeah.
You need a losing streak stopper like Seaver was and Guidry.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What do I think is going to happen? I think Alonso's they're gonna re-sign Alonso. I think they're gonna sign Framer Valdez, to tell you the truth. The way things are going and sounding like, I think that they're gonna sign him, and I think they're gonna get somebody for that outfield. They're gonna, and maybe Bellinger. We'll see, but something's gonna happen where they're gonna make couple more, maybe 3 big moves. I don't know about Diaz. I'd love to see Diaz back because I like that combination of Williams setting him up. I mean, that would be what a bullpen. So that's what I say. But we'll see what happens. Anyway,
I'm expecting a call too.
Yeah.
I'm head of condiments at 7-Eleven midnight shift now. I may be in charge of all City Field hot dog condiments, lower level. I'm negotiating now.
Okay.
Listen, this hour has flown by, let me tell you. But it was great. It was great to have you back. Chris, you have anything else before we go? I have to announce.
I don't see you guys, again.
Yeah, listen, man, we love when you come on. Everybody loves it, as you can see by the messages.
It was like, because it's fun. You got to have fun.
Yeah, just talking baseball and great stories, man. This is
now you could go back to your marathon. Anyway, thanks everybody for listening. If you want to see the replay again, you know where to go. YouTube, definitely subscribe. Thursday night, Chris, we're going to be on Thursday night, and we'll let you know about Friday night show because I'm not going to be here Friday night. But Chris may have a special Yankee show going on, but we'll let you know on Thursday. We're definitely going to be here Thursday at 9 p.m. because we have the return of, and he's another great guest you guys love, Chauncey Hayden from Stepping Out Magazine, the Howard Stern Show, and he's another one that cracks us up. He returns to talk Mets, Yankees, the offseason, and to talk about his new book, Rebels, Rockers, and Icons, 30 Years of Music Q&As. And let me tell you, me and Chris got the advanced copies. We started reading it. It's amazing. Great.
It's really great, man. Great interviews with not just the normal stars. I'm talking about the elite stars. You're talking guys like James Brown, James Hetfield. I mean, just to name a couple that I got through already. Unbelievable. Some of the names that I was seeing in there. I can't wait to get through the rest. Yeah.
So listen, you're not going to want to miss Thursday night show with Chauncey coming back. You loved it. The other 2 appearances, he was great. And it's going to be a great show. I'm looking forward to it. But Ant, thanks. You'll be back. You got an open invitation. We love when you're on, and it was great having you. Thank you. All right.
Nice seeing you again, Chris.
Yeah, man. Great seeing you.
Hey, guys, I'm double X this year. Something dark color. Sharp lines, all right?
All right. And we'll
yes.
we'll see everybody Thursday night, 9 p.m.